15章第26節。
We read a scripture first. That's in the Exodus chapter 15, verse 26.
你若留意聽耶和華你神的話，又行我眼中看為正的事，留心聽我的誡命，守我的一切嘅律例，我就不將所加與埃及人嘅疾病加在你身上，因為我耶和華是醫治你的。
He said, if you listen carefully to the Lord your God and do what's right in his eyes, if you pay attention to his commands, and keep all his decrees, I will not bring on you any of the diseases I brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you.
父神，我哋尊重你嘅話，
Oh, Father, we respect your word,
我哋懇求主你嘅話語加添我哋嘅信心，
and may your word increase our faith,
亦都喺我哋教會裏邊嚟到施行你自己嘅醫治、你嘅神蹟，
and that you will administer your healings and miracles in this church.
賜福我哋呢幾個禮拜裏邊所要講嘅題目。
And may you bless the messages in the next few weeks.
願你嘅靈運行在我哋當中，
May your spirit
赦免講行醫治，
that your will and healing
叫我哋每一個都成為健康嘅人嚟。
become healthy as in serving you.
我哋咁樣祈求，
We pray on Jesus' name.
阿門。
Amen.
我好多年咧係冇講到關於神嘅醫治，
For many years, I have not talked about the healing of God,
係直接講呢個題目，唔係間接㗎，拉下講下啲。
and meaning to direct speak about it and not indirectly.
知道我哋每一個都明白到神係聽禱告嘅神，係知道咧神係有大能嘅。
And I know that we all know that God is a God who perform miracles and healings.
唔單止喺舊約裏邊咧，佢行神蹟嚟醫治有盲嘅、有瘸腿嘅嚟到咧，使到好翻。
Not only he performed miracles in an Old Testament where the blood walk,
同埋我哋過往裏邊有日子咧，見到神咧係喺我當中係行出嘅神蹟出嚟。
in the past we also seen God to perform miracles among us.
但係最近我見得到教會裏邊弟兄姊妹越嚟越多身體有事啊，或者有啲年紀老咗啲啊諸如此類嘅，越嚟越多毛病。
And recently I observed my sisters who are getting older and more problems with the health.
我都關心你哋，好擔心你哋嗰個情形。
And I'm also concerned about the situation that you're in.
但係我往往所觀察就我哋咧，好似唔再懂得點樣去把握神嘅應許。
But what I've observed, it seems that we didn't know how to take hold of the promise of
忘
God
記咗
anymore,
神咧能夠醫治我哋，
so that God can heal us.
或者我哋唔記得點採取咩嘅步驟，去到咧係懇求神嚟醫治我哋。
And perhaps we don't know what the steps are to ask God for healing.
所以呢個係亦都係我個心願，就係咧希望更多弟兄姊妹能夠咧係喺神面前係得到神嗰個撫摸醫治我哋嘅身體。
And it is my wish that many more brothers will be
最
able.
好啊！如果你有疾病有性，你嚟到聚會嘅時候，神喺度撫摸嚟到醫治你，然後你又係好咗咁出去嘅。
And how wonderful it is when you come to worship and you are receiving healing and a touch of God as you leave.
有幾年之前，我哋喺呢一個夜晚黑中文嘅查經小組裏邊咧，佢哋大家有咩事嘅時候，佢哋彼此祈禱按手又好翻喎。
And years ago, in our Chinese meetings at night, then they come with and ask God for healing. They were healed when they left.
我哋主日崇拜都有咁嘅情形發生。
And this also happened during our worship
所以
time on
我咧
Sundays.
想係透徹嚟再次解釋關於神嘅醫治嘅問題，同埋我哋有咩方法可以去到神嘅面前有蒙神嘅嚟到聽我哋
And
祈
today
禱。
we want to talk about once again about the healing and how we come to God for healing.
但係咧呢個留翻下幾個禮拜先講啦。
But we'll talk about that a little bit in the next couple of weeks.
我最初開始希望咧嚟到講到，如果我哋明白神醫治嘅時候，我哋先明白咧呢個病嘅來由。
And today, as we want to understand God's the reason or the cause of this sickness.
Can you imagine 病來由係乜嘢？
So what's the
基本我哋睇翻咧創世記第3章第16節裏邊所講嘅。
So we're going to book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 16
當
to
日犯咗
19.
罪之後，神咧係宣判佢嗰個刑罰嗰個管教。
After the fall of men, that God pronounced their discipline.
神對女人説：我必加 多多加增你懷胎嘅苦楚，你生產兒女有多受苦楚，你必戀慕你嘅丈夫，你丈夫必管轄你。又對亞當說：你既聽從你妻子嘅話，吃了我所吩咐你不可吃嘅那樹上嘅果子，地必為你嘅緣受咒詛，你必終身勞苦，才能從地裏得吃。地必給你長出荊棘和蒺藜來，你也要吃田裏嘅蔬菜。你必汗流滿面才得糊口，直到你歸於土，因為你是從土而出。我本是泥土，塵土仍要歸於塵土。
Verse 16, it says, to the woman he said, I will make your pain in childbearing very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. To Adam he said, because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. And it will produce thorn and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. Since from it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you will return.
我要解釋咧，生病咧有4個主要嘅原因。
We will talk about the main reasons for our sickness.
第一咧係敗壞裏邊嘅轄制。
And the first one is that we are subjected to decay.
第二就係苦況咧咒詛嘅之下，伏在咒詛底下。
And second, that we are living under the curse.
第三就係唔健全嘅生活習慣同埋生活方式。
And thirdly is our unhealthy lifestyle.
喺裏邊咧分開兩段咧，就係一個咧明顯致病嘅原因。
And in the third point, we'll separate into two: the obvious causes,
一個係唔明顯嘅。
and that's the not so obvious causes.
聖經裏邊你記得主耶穌講話，有啲佢醫治好佢嘅時候，佢話你以後唔好再犯罪啦，因為恐怕日後會更加嚴重。
And in the Bible, Jesus, when after he healed a person, he said that do not sin anymore, otherwise you will fall sick again.
有啲病係從罪裏邊嚟，一陣我會講。
And there are some of this type that we'll mention later on.
但有啲係生出嚟嘅。主耶穌講話呢個生嚟盲眼嘅，佢話呢個唔係佢犯罪，亦都唔係佢父母犯罪，乃係要成就神嘅榮耀。
And those who are born with a sickness, like a blind person, and this is not because they have sinned or their parents have sinned, but rather to glorify God.
所以我哋要睇兩方面嘅。第一點
So we have to look at the both. So let's look at the first point.
敗壞嘅轄制。
We are subjected to decay.
羅馬書第8章第19節同埋到21節裏面，受造之物咧，伏喺啲空虛底下咧，係自己唔願意嘅，乃係因為那叫他如此嘅。但受造之物仍然指望脱離呢個敗壞裏邊嘅轄制，得享神兒女嘅榮耀。
In the Romans chapter 20, it said that the creation was subjected to frustration.
本來亞當夏娃神創造嘅時候係長生不老嘅。
And at the creation, Adam and Eve were immortal.
但係當佢哋犯罪之後咧，佢身體開始有大嘅轉變。
But after the fall, after they sinned, their body start to mutate.
呢個罪係啟動咗呢個死亡嘅律。
And this sin have started the law of death.
係發動咗呢一個衰老嘅過程。
And it started the process of aging.
當你唔再發高長大嘅時候咧，你就開始其實咧係進入呢個死亡嗰個咁嘅過程。
And after you have been fully grown, actually you are stepping into the process of aging.
可能係20幾歲開始嘅時候，就開始慢慢係衰老啊，係退化嘅。
And when you reach the age about 20-something, you are starting going downhill.
當人犯罪之後，呢個新陳代謝就開始啦。
After men sin, they start to have metabolism.
人呢個機能夠再次重建嘅機能同埋呢個更新能力咧，係越嚟越削弱咗。
And they're able to regenerate and to re-energize is deteriorate.
年紀越大嘅時候，要發覺咧自己嗰個係老化咗啦，冇再好似前咁嘅恢復嘅嗰個能力喺度。
And as we get older, we find that we are not able to have the energy to recuperate as we used to.
身體因為日積月累嘅磨損啊，係出咗好多毛病啊，牙又甩啊，眼又退化，頭髮又疏咗啊，心臟又衰弱啊，血管又閉塞啊之類嘅。
And because the accumulated the wear and tear that on our teeth, our eyes, our heart, our blood vessels, even our hair become less.
所以有好多病啊，啲病咧係喺呢個退化嘅情況之下產生嘅。
So a lot of sickness is caused by this process of aging.
係因為人最初犯罪呢個失咗嗰個更新嘅能力咧，係冇辦法扭轉翻嗰個咁嘅過程。
And because of sin, that we have lost the power to renew ourselves, and that's the reason why to go through this
我
process.
哋每一個有咁上下年紀嘅人都開始學習接受我哋嘅身體係咁樣樣噶啦。
And many of us who are older have accepted the fact that this is how things are.
不過唔係等於我哋唔可以尋求神有醫治我哋。
But that does not mean that we cannot go to ask God to heal us.
第二樣嘢就係萬物都伏喺呢個咒詛底下。
And the second is that all creation are subjected to this curse.
唔單止人嘅身體裏邊有咁嘅毛病，原來咧整個大自然都有咁嘅受咗呢個咒詛。
And not only man themselves have this issue, but all of creation are in the same
聖
state.
經裏邊講地係出咗荊棘同埋蒺藜。
It said the ground will have thorns and tussles
其實
being
唔單
raised.
止係咁啦，嗱係亦都地嘅咧要為你劬勞啊之類嘅。原來咧個地咧係出咗好多個毛病喺裏邊。
And even the ground, they have a lot of problems or sickness.
嗰啲好多野草，舉個例子係荊棘蒺藜，就係野草令到人有敏感嘅，
And there are weeds that cause allergies.
帶嚟好多嗰啲敏感嘅疾病。
And that we are allergic to many
我
things.
哋教會裏面都唔少人有花粉症㗎。
And many of us have allergies in the summer.
唔單止咁啊，呢個地咧係喺我哋嘅地上嗰個生活咧係，亦都呢個地裏邊咧係帶俾我哋好多，帶俾好多嘅病痛喺裏邊。
And whatever come out the ground actually cause a lot of sickness we have.
你未記得26章第16節入邊所講咧，佢話我必定命驚惶咧，叫眼目乾竭、精神消耗嘅癆病、熱病轄制你們，使你們要白白嘅撒種，但係仇敵要吃你們所種嘅。
And the book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 16, it said, "And I will do this to you. I will bring on you sudden terror, racing diseases, and fever that will destroy your sight and sap your strength. You will plant seed in vain because your enemies will eat it."
申命記第28章第21節我唔讀啦，亦都係講類似嘅情形。
And also in Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 21 and 22, it mentioned about the same thing. We will not read it.
我哋以為呢個大地裏邊嘅自然咧，只係因為人咧嗰個濫用嘅時候係損毀呢個地球。
We thought because of the abuse that human abuse that we caused damage to nature.
但係唔單止係咁啊，其實一早已經係發生咗噶啦。
But it was not that simple. This process started a long time ago.
未有呢個工業化之前咧，已經係發生咗呢個地咧，係因為受咗咒詛，係有咁嘅問題產
And
生。
even before the industrialization, that the grounds are being cursed and the problem already existed.
但係呢個大自然啊，污染啊，空氣嘅污染同埋食水嘅污染咧，係越嚟越嚴重。
But the pollution, the air pollution, the water pollution, and the pollution of nature become more serious.
連太陽都出咗問題。
Even the sun causes
咁我
problems.
哋話曬太陽好好嘅，細個時候我哋同佢講話，你曬太陽有啲維他命 D 嘅。
And to bathe in the sun is something that was good when I was young. It actually give us vitamin D.
但係廿幾30年之前咧，突然間講到咧唔掂喎，因為咧呢個臭氧層咧係失咗呢個缺少咗呢個臭氧層咧係缺少呢個保護嘅膜㗎，所以咧曬得太陽嘅時候會呢個皮膚癌。
And but because of the thinning of our atmosphere, that the sun rays now actually can cause skin cancer.
我哋一直以為逢真係大自然嘅都係好嘅。
We thought that anything that is natural is good.
但喺呢個橋北省裏邊咧，以前有一個地帶啊，就係 asbestos 同埋呢個 Thetford mine。
And in Quebec, we have two cities, that's Abisto and also Thetford
佢
mine.
哋產生好多啲石棉，係呢個天然嘅物品嚟嘅。
and they produce a pistol which actually something that's natural in nature,
可以保暖啊之類嘅。
and it can help us to insulate.
呢個地方係成為全世界最大嘅石棉嘅出產地，
And it becomes the biggest producer of pistols in the
天
world.
然嘅喎，幾好咧？你話？
How wonderful it is something that's naturally
但係
natural.
因為呢個咒詛嘅緣故咧，原來呢個石棉都係致癌嘅，最新嘅發現咧，所以所有嘅礦場都關咗，連石棉市啊，而家都唔想用呢個名，因為人哋覺得呢個係有毒嘅城市，所以咧個個聽到就怕咗。
And but because the curse of the ground that actually these pistols causes cancer, and to the point where even all the mines were closed and the city changed their name.
所以而家改咗名叫做乜嘢？Valley of the Spring, Valley Sources， 就係咧係改咗一個水泉嘅城市。
And becomes calls himself a valley of spring.
我相信有一日咧，當你千禧年嘅時候咧，呢個石棉可以再用翻嗰個咁嘅咒咗離開啲係冇咁嘅問題嘅。
Well, I believe that one day during the millennium, that these pistols will become something that will not cause harm.
唔單止咁啊，其實現代人好怕呢個用呢個化學嘅藥品、個化學嘅物品，因為咧怕佢致癌。
And also people are afraid to use anything that involve man-made chemicals because they think they might cause cancer.
我哋以前一個執事嘅梁偉基執事咧，佢以前喺一個油漆工廠裏邊做咧，佢話咧同我講過咧，我哋做呢個油漆工廠啊，啲人係短命10年㗎。
And one of the brothers, who was the deacon, the Ricky Leung, he worked in a paint factory. He also relates to me that the people who work there actually, live 10 years less than most people.
所以我哋而家啲盡量係減少用任何嘅化學嘅藥品啊，諸如此類嘅嚟到係減低呢個咁嘅性命嗰個威脅。
And for that reason, we are using I think that involve chemical less and less, so to lessen the threat of to our lives,
健康威脅唔係性命，係未必會死嘅。
a threat to our health.
現代人用好多嘅方法嚟解決大自然所帶嚟嘅咒詛。
And we came up with a lot of ways to mitigate the curse of this curse.
提倡呢個環保，
We promote this protection of the
係
environment,
係盡量改善呢個清新嘅空氣，又潔淨呢個水源。
and we're promoting clean air and clean water sources.
但我哋要明白到咧，呢個大自然對嘅破壞咧係超過環保可以達到得到嘅。
But we need to understand the damage to the nature it exceeds what this protection of an environment will be able to
我哋話唔
do.
用膠袋啊，先上滿地可士啊，唔用膠袋啊，但係好多嘢都係塑膠嘅。你追嚟追去追唔掂，用咁多，即係冇辦法可以追得到。你點樣去環保嘅？
And we said we will not use the plastic bag, but there's so many things that make of plastic. It's very hard for us to catch up.
大自然嘅被破壞係好緊要，因為罪嘅緣故。
And because of sin, the damage to nature is great.
我哋中意食生果啊，我哋希望咧係食天然嘅。
And we love to eat fruit, and we love to eat those that's natural.
我寧願俾多啲錢係買啲冇農藥嘅。
And we pay more for organic fruit.
我哋講下咧，每日食一個蘋果咧就唔需要睇醫生。
And we say that an apple a day will keep the doctor away.
有一次我問咧，我哋去教會去農場呢邊去摘蘋果啊。咁我問農場呢個果園嘅老闆。
So, but one day when we went to apple picking, so I asked the owner.
我話呢個蘋果我唔想食有農藥嘅啊，我哋係咪批咗皮已經係可以食咧就冇事咧？
And I asked him, well, I don't want to eat the pesticide, so is it okay? It would be fine if we just peel the apple.
有啲人咧知道西方人咧係 polished apple， 係擦個蘋果擦到嗰啲所有嗰啲白色嗰啲冇，或者中國人中意批咗皮佢，諗得咁安全啲。
And no matter you're Russian or Chinese, you might think that you polish your apple, or if you peel your apple, then you're fine.
佢話 問題唔係殺蟲水落響蘋果個皮裏邊，
But the owner told me that the problem, the issue is not that the pesticides on the skin of the
佢
apple.
話殺蟲水係需要呢個蘋果樹開花時候噴嘅。
And we actually apply the pesticide when the apple tree bloom.
佢話呢個蘋果根本嗰時候都未有出，未有結果，開花然後先結果噶嘛。
Because they don't have any fruit yet, they're just blooming.
所以蘋果皮係冇殺蟲水響上高㗎。佢話你可以放心食。
For that reason, there is no pesticide on the skin of the apple.
但係個問題就係咧，呢殺蟲水噴咗啲花之後，係滴咗落個地下裏邊。
The issue is that the pesticide actually, after they sprayed it, was sink to the ground.
然後呢個蘋果樹啲根又將佢吸翻上個樹幹同埋個蘋果嘅裏邊。
And that it goes through the root of the apple tree, and actually it flow into the apple
所
themselves.
以個蘋果裏邊係有呢一個農藥嘅，唔係蘋果外邊。
So it's actually the pesticide is inside the apple rather on the
哇
outside.
聽我之後，我話點算咧？好唔好再食蘋果咧？
And after I heard that, I say, well, should I eat apple anymore?
但係真係冇辦法，因為係需要食蘋果嘅，所以咧都係要去冒呢個險啊！
And so, but I still need to eat. We still need to eat fruit and need to eat apple. So we have to take that risk.
希望呢個農藥唔係好重就好啦，咁樣。
And hopefully that they will not have too much an amount in this apple of the
所以
pesticide.
無論我哋用乜嘢方法去避免啊逃避，其實都係有響裏邊嘅呢個大地裏邊嘅咒詛。
So no matter how we try to avoid it, it seems that we are not able to get away from
仲
it.
有一樣嘢就係講到咧我哋細個時候咧，聽講好多人打針雞咧，使到雞咧快高長大。
And when we're younger, that we talk about the chicken who has been injected.
就係打啲咁嘅激素，令到佢咧個雞快大嘅時候咧，佢個即係佢就快啲嚟賣出去，咁佢就能夠賺多啲錢。
And the purpose that they injected with the chicken with steroids, so they would mature faster, so they could sell it more.
我13、14歲嘅時候咧，仲有好幾次食雞嘅時候咧，食到雞頸咧，哇，苦到好難忍，同埋好留喺個腦裏面一個唔好嘅感覺嘅，因為身邊人同我講話呢啲係個打針雞嗰啲激素嚟嘅。
And when I was aged 13 and 14, several times when I was eating the chicken, especially the neck of the chicken, I taste something that's bitter. And afterwards, many people told me that because you were tasting the steroid that was injected to the
雖
chicken.
然而家係禁止咗用啲咁嘅激素去激動催個雞長大。
And so today they have restricted the use of steroids to inject the
但
chicken.
係呢個農場啊，原來仲係用呢個激素咧混喺呢個牛嘅飼料啊當中，例如餵牛養牛嘅喎。
But yet the farms are still using the steroids, mix it into feed of the cow.
所以唔知你點避啦，你係避唔到，你要食牛肉嘅時候咧，就係要食到啲咁嘅激素噶啦。
And so it's unavoidable. You want to eat beef, you eat the steroid along with it.
嗱，呢啲所講嘅呢個咒詛都係外在嘅，
And all of these curses that we talk about are actually external things.
但係亦都係內在嘅潛伏喺我哋與生俱來嘅，係生出嚟就有噶啦。
And yet there are something that is latent, that's inner to us.
呢一個就係因為我哋有身體裏邊有啲嘅遺傳嘅因，只係帶嚟一啲咁嘅致命嘅病。
That in our genes there are that can cause, that can bring along the disease.
所以有啲而家醫學研究咧係點樣去治理呢個咁嘅整理呢個嗰個遺傳因子嚟到去醫啲病。
And that they are studying and how to manipulate the genes to help us to deal with the
然
sickness.
後佢有研究你驗下你嗰啲遺傳因子點，有冇癌症嘅病啊，有冇乳癌啊之類嘅嘢。
And through their evaluation of the genes, they were able to tell that if you are susceptible to certain kind of disease.
所以有啲揾得到嘅我有呢一個 乳癌嗰個遺傳因子嘅時候咧，甚至乎有啲人就鋌而走險咧，係切割佢哋嘅乳房。
And some people who discover that they have the gene for breast cancer, so they take the step of removing their breast.
所以呢啲都係我哋避免生病嘅一個方法嚟嘅。
It's a way to avoid the sickness.
但係有啲病係遺傳落係避唔到嘅喎。
But there are also diseases where you cannot avoid or escape from.
例如中風啊。
For instance, strokes.
我祖母60歲到嘅時候係中風，係半身不遂。
And my grandmother had a stroke when in her 60s, and she had paralysis.
20年多之後咧，我姑姐同一個佢嘅年紀嘅時候，又係中風，又係同一個半身不遂嘅部位。
And 20-some years later, my aunt also had a stroke, and she was also had the paralysis.
肯定呢個生出嚟嘅，肯定呢個遺傳嚟嘅。
Certainly, this is inherited.
呢個毀壞嘅力咧喺我哋身體裏邊潛伏嘅。
And these destructive forces are already latent in us.
唔單止我個祖母喎，我姑姐喎，然後我姑姐嘅女到嗰個年紀又係咁樣中風。
And not only my grandmother and my aunt, but also my aunt's daughter as well had a stroke also at the same age.
不過咧就呢個好少少，因為喺個腦嘅低啲咁多地方咧，就影響唔到半身，嗱係影響到佢耳仔聽唔到嘢。
And she was lucky because it happened in a different area of the brain, so she only lost her hearing.
無論如何，呢個咒詛，呢個大自然嘅咒詛，同埋呢個身體裏嘅咒詛，都係影響緊我哋嘅健康。
So no matter whether it's external or internal, this curse is affecting our health.
雖然醫學點樣努力，但係只能夠幫助減輕嗰個破壞力。
And no matter how hard that our medical science developed, it only can limitedly help us.
但呢個破壞力咧係深到嘅地步咧，我哋係避免唔得到嘅，防不勝防嘅。
And the destructive potential of this curse is so deep that we are not able to avoid it at all.
我哋到一個年紀只能夠袖手旁觀咧，係束手無策。如果要發生就發生，冇辦法啦。
At a certain age, you find out there's nothing you can do.
我哋只能夠好似坐以待斃，喺手裏邊都唔知道點樣做。
And we just need to accept the facts and just wait.
由於咁嘅緣故，我希望大家知道，因為知道我哋有咁嘅即係毀壞嘅力量，我哋身體裏邊，我身體外邊嘅時候咧，我哋要謙卑嚟到度日。
And because we know all these dangers, external and internally, we need to live humbly.
我哋要知道咧，喺羅馬書第8章頭先所講啊，甚至乎呢啲已經係得救贖嘅人，都係伏喺呢個空虛、呢個敗壞嘅轄制嘅裏邊。
That as we read in Romans chapter 8, that we are all subjected to this frustration.
唔係我哋自己願意啦，係神擺我哋嗰度冇辦法啦，一定係咁發生噶啦。
And not something that we wanted, but that we were put there by God, and there's nothing that we can
我哋要
do.
接受生老病死呢個事實，
We need to accept the fact that we will age and we will
必
die,
定會嚟到我哋每一個人身上高。
and it's inevitable.
喺呢個約伯記第10章第20節裏邊所講啊，我日子不是甚少麼？求你停手寬容我，叫我在我往而不返之先，就是住在黑暗和死陰之地以先，可以稍得暢快。
That in the Job chapter 10, verse 20 to 21, it says, "Turn away from me so that I can have a moment's joy before I go to the place of no return, to the land of gloom and utter darkness."
呢個意思就話，我知道我一定會去噶啦，我一定要去嗰個地方噶啦。
It means that I know that inevitably I will go to that place,
我知道我死緊噶啦，
and I know that I will die.
但係神啊，求你喺呢一個手下留情，嚟到寬容一下，放輕你嘅手，唔好加咁重嘅手我身上高。
And we ask God at this moment to lift the heaviness of your hand and allow me a moment of joy.
使到我咧能夠可以暢快一下。
Allow us a moment of joy.
我同我太太最近呢個祈禱一樣嘅，神啊，求你用呢個以斯巴嘅祈禱啊，就係咧求神咧係減少我哋喺呢個日子裏邊所要遭受嘅痛苦。
And lately, Linda have prayed that we would ask God to decrease the suffering we have in this life.
其實20年多前咧，喺呢個北美裏邊咧，好多基督徒就祈呢個禱，就係話神啊，你求你減輕我呢一個喺地上高所受嘅痛苦。
And even 20 years ago, Christians were praying this prayer to lessen our suffering while that we are on this earth.
聖經裏邊講，神就聽呢個以斯巴嘅祈禱。
And the Bible tells us that God listened to this prayer.
所以我哋要祈求神啊，喺我哋嘅往而不單嘅路上高咧，求你寬容一下，放輕你嘅手啦，唔好咁重，唔好出手出咁重。
So we ask God to lessen His hand, lift His hand upon us.
同埋我哋要祈呢個詩篇第121篇裏邊所講嘅。
We also need to pray in Psalm
第5
121.
節話保護你嘅耶和華，耶和華在你右邊任庇你，日或夜頭不傷你，夜間月亮不害你。
It said, "The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade and at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night."
免受一切嘅災害，同埋你出你入，耶和華要保護你。
That keep you from all harms and watch over you, your coming and your going.
你話神啊，咁多嘢我真係防不勝防，日頭啊，呢啲食生果啊，食肉啊，呼吸嘅空氣，任何一樣嘢我都可以出事嘅喎。
You may ask, there's so many things that cause us harm to our health.
我自己，但係我盡咗力量，其實我仲係需要你嚟保護我。
And I could not protect myself, even though I did my best. I still need your protection.
好啦，解釋完嗰啲，我哋控制唔到嗰啲致病嘅原因。
So we have explained about the sickness that we have no control over.
我而家講一講嗰啲我哋可以控制得到嘅病嘅原因。
And let's look at the causes where we can control.
第三點就係唔健全嘅生活習慣同埋生活方式。
And about the unhealthy or imbalanced living style or practices.
點解出埃及記提先最初讀嘅第15章第28節裏面保證咧以色列人咧冇呢個埃及嘅病咧？
And why did God mention in the Exodus chapter 15 verse 26 that they will not have the disease that He brought to the Egyptians?
到底乜嘢埃及嘅病咧？
Oh, indeed, what are these sick diseases of the Egyptians?
我哋明白當時咧以色列人都係長埃及裏邊，所以咧佢只能夠係即係熟悉埃及人裏邊嘅，所以佢用呢埃及人嘅病嚟到代替整體嘅嘢。但係其實嘅意思就話，埃及人病就係其實就係外邦人，係嗰啲唔遵守神話語嘅外邦人所當中有個傳染嘅病。
And actually, these diseases that the Egyptians actually belongs to the Gentile, the sickness that was going to the Gentile.
如果神嘅兒女啊係遵行神嘅話語嘅時候，係遵守神嗰個規條嘅時候咧，我哋係唔應當有啲咁嘅人為嘅病嘅。
And actually, if we are a student of God, that we follow the laws of God, that we should not have these sickness that caused by man.
嗱，剛才我所講嘅係好基本嘅，所以大家其實都可能知道晒所有嘢。不過咧，我唔講呢個嗰個 introduction 嘅時候咧，我冇辦法去講以後嗰啲下幾個禮拜所要講嘅。
And perhaps what I'm talking to you about is very basic, but yet I need to at least go over so because otherwise I will not be able to continue on to
埃
next
及
week.
人嘅病，外邦人嘅病就係生活方式，因為有問題嘅方式，有犯罪嘅方式嘅帶出嚟嘅病。
And the disease of Egyptians actually is caused by the lifestyle that they live.
如果我哋想行神嘅話語，我哋應該係冇性病啦，應該係冇愛滋病之處啦，即係唔亂諗交，即係做晒所有防護工具嘅時候。
If we are obedient to God's laws, we should not have any STDs or AIDS.
我哋如果有個健全嘅生活嘅時候，敬畏神、聽神嘅話語嘅時候咧，係遵行神呢個倫理裏邊嘅律法、清潔律法，同埋有健全嘅身心嘅時候咧，我哋應當係冇咁嘅問題嘅。
And then if we live a healthy lifestyle and we are obedient to God's word about the laws of morality, the laws of cleansing and hygiene, we should not have any problems with this
如果我
sickness.
哋有平衡嘅工作啊、休息啊、消閒嘅時間咧，應該健康係好啲添嘅。
And that we live a life where we have balanced our work, our time of rest, and also our activities.
當然唔能夠減少，就係嗰啲頭先講係大自然啊、遺傳啊嗰啲咁嘅，或者到咁嘅年紀消磨到嗰啲衰老嘅嗰啲病。但係最低限度我哋會健康好多。
Of course, we will not be able to avoid the other sickness we mentioned about from the external curses and because of the aging that come with aging process, but at least we'll be healthier.
神點解會咁有把握講到你冇呢個埃及嘅病咧？
And why is God so certain that you will not have the disease of the Egyptians?
因為佢開咗呢個藥方俾我哋，呢個保健嘅方法係點樣樣？
And because He has given us a remedy.
跟住佢呢個藥方去做嘅時候，遵行神嘅話語嘅時候，我哋就會更加健康嘅。
And that will be is obedient to His word, that will be healthier.
呢個藥方係乜嘢？就係佢所頒布嗰啲禮儀嘅律法啊、飲食嘅條例啊、洗藥嘅規矩啊之類嘅。
And the remedy that God given is integrated in the ceremonial law, dietary laws, and also cleansing laws.
呢幾年我哋知道啦，呢個疫情嘅時候，我哋好多嘢要洗手啊，我要唔能夠摸啲嗰啲唔潔淨嘅物件啊，有病嘅人啊，我哋盡量嚟到避免啊。我哋咧聖經裏邊所講感染嘅人咧，上流同埋下流，即係上邊流啲液體，下邊流啲液體嗰啲，我哋唔應當接觸啊，唔應該接觸有病嘅人啊、死人啊之類嘅。
And for the last part during this pandemic, we know that we need to wash our hands and be careful what we touch, and also touch the sufficient of other people or the sick person. These are things that God have mentioned beforehand.
佢話：如果你遵守我律例、我典章嘅時候，就冇呢啲咁嘅病嘅，其實可以避免得到嘅。
And if you follow my laws, that you will avoid these sickness.
除咗呢個空氣所傳染嘅，所以我哋要戴埋口罩添。嗰陣聖經裏面冇點講嘅，只不過離遠啲隔開，唔好行埋去。
And also that we except for those the airborne diseases, that but we now are wearing masks and we keeping our distance.
仲有神咧係講到一啲佢話應該係潔淨嘅食物，我哋可以食嘅，亦都唔潔淨嘅食物係禁止我哋食嘅。
And God also mentioned about the clean and unclean animals, the animals that we can eat and cannot eat.
但係好可惜咧，就係咧，我哋以色列人嘅喺嗰時候咧係呢啲洗作嘅咁嘅條例咧太過繁瑣，所以咧樣樣都要洗嘅時候，特別去洗手啦，所以咧佢哋咧係感到厭煩咧，佢直頭唔去做。
And but unfortunately for the Israelites, the laws for cleansing is so tedious and there's so many things that to clean. They at the end did not obey God.
亦都由於我哋而家中國人啊，同埋有啲其他種族咧，我哋百無禁忌啊，無論潔淨又食，不潔淨又食，我哋冇咁嘅觀念喺裏邊嘅。
And as the Chinese or even other nations, they don't have this thought that there are things that are clean and unclean, there are things that we could eat and cannot. We just eat anything and everything.
我哋搬咗去 Calgary 嗰個李運培弟兄咧，有一次同我傾偈咧，講到咧，即係以前大陸點樣饑荒，不過咧響中國人裏邊咧，佢係揾到乜嘢係喐得嘅，都要食嘅。
And Brother Lee, who moved to Calgary, mentioned to me once that for the Chinese, when they find anything that moves, they will eat.
最污穢嘅、最毒嘅、最危險嘅昆蟲，走獸惡都要食嘅。
And no matter how dirty or how poisonous or an insect or animal, they will eat.
我爸爸咧出一個秘藥方話係治癌嘅，其中一樣嘢咧，嗰啲中藥嘅鋪頭點樣？呢樣嘢好毒㗎，你好小心啊咁樣。但係佢俾你個藥方俾你食，佢有理由去俾你食添，因為係醫好你啊嘛。佢話。
And my father have a Chinese remedy that they go to the Chinese pharmacists. They will, well, one of the ingredients is actually very poisonous, and they would caution you to be careful when you use it.
所以中國人嘅基督徒裏邊咧，係對呢啲潔淨嘅物啊、不潔嘅動物啊，我哋係冇咁揸得咁緊嘅。
And they actually even find a reason for you to eat it. So for the Chinese, that we'll lose in terms of how we view this unclean and unclean animals.
我做咗基督徒最20年，聖經裏面講我唔知道，所以咧我食過狗肉、食過貓肉、食過龍虎鳳都食過晒啦。
And for the first 20 years, as Christians, I did not know this, so I eat a dog, cat, and everything.
食過老鼠研出嚟嘅粉，我唔知道，爸爸媽媽俾我食咗。
What?
I have eaten 松鼠散啊！我唔知道而家嚟到加拿大，突然間大嘅時候先，佢話我生積喎，係有咩原因就俾餵啲松鼠散俾我食？我突然間40-50歲嘅時候，點解咩叫松鼠散咧？咁心諗通咗，就係咧啲 BB 老鼠曬乾之後硬到好似粉咁樣，然後燉豬肉乾俾我食。
So actually, what it was a baby rat, and they killed it and dried it and then crushed it into a powder form, and they mixed it into something and fed it to me.
聖經裏邊所講嗰啲，我哋有乜嘢見證可以食，乜嘢唔可以食，我哋唔會理會中國人啲想食嘅。
And as Chinese, we want to eat everything, so we neglected what's told us in the Bible.
我哋仲有個藉口就係呢個《使徒行傳》第10章裏邊所講嘅，即係神叫彼得去對哥尼流傳福音嘅時候咧，就攞啲響所講一啲一大嘅一籮嗰啲咁嘅不潔嘅動物嚟叫佢宰嚟食，叫佢劏咗食。
And well, we find excuse in the Acts chapter 10 that when Peter had this vision that he saw all this unclean animals, and God asked him to kill it, to eat it.
彼得話唔得啊！呢啲唔潔淨嘅物件我都冇食過嘅，從來冇入過我口嘅。
And Peter said, "I will not kill and eat it because these unclean things will never touch my lips."
我哋藉口就跟住係用神嘅回答就講話，神所潔淨嘅不可以為不潔。
And our excuse was from the response of God, and God said, "Do not call anything impure that God has made clean."
我哋就話而家喺新約裏邊咧，百無禁忌啊，乜嘢都可以食得噶啦，咁樣，因為神改變咗呢個飲食嘅條例。
And so we said in the New Testament we could eat anything because God had changed the law.
我要明白，大家明白啊！神冇更改呢個飲食嘅潔淨同不潔嘅嘅動物嘅條例。
We need to understand that God did not change the dietary laws concerning the unclean and clean animals.
個分別就係原來喺舊約裏邊嘅時候，呢個係神治嘅角度，神要以色列人都係喺萬民當中分別出嚟。
And the difference is that in the Old Testament, the nation of Israel was under the theocracy.
係要佢哋唔沾染呢個不潔嘅物件，神先收納佢哋。
And when they are found these laws, would God accept them in this kingdom?
所以咧呢一個食與唔食呢個不潔植物動物咧，就係在乎神喺嗰時候係咪接納佢哋嗰個問題。
And this really concerned whether God would accept them or not in this dietary law.
但係我哋明白新約教會裏邊係唔係靠住行律法蒙悅納啦，係靠住神嘅恩典。
But we need to understand that in the New Testament that we are accepted by God through His grace, not through the practice of the law.
所以神係冇要求到底外邦人信咗主之後咧，係咪食唔到啲咁嘅嘢，就都接納到佢哋。
That's why God did not demand that the Gentiles will have to follow this law, and He would accept them.
廢咗呢個舊約呢個潔淨同不潔淨嘅食物嗰個問題，嘅動物嘅問題。
But that does not mean that God has abolished this law.
主耶穌講話，有一日咧律法一點一劃都唔會廢去，都要成就。即係話咧，舊約裏邊嗰所有潔淨嘅物同埋不潔淨嘅係仍然係生效嘅。
And Jesus said, "Not the smallest letter or least stroke of pen of this will disappear from this law." That means that law still is in effect.
呢幾年裏邊，我哋知道呢個大流行嘅疫情，有唔同嘅疫情啊，有呢一個沙士啊，有伊波拉啊之類嘅其實根據研究，都大多數係由呢個蝙蝠裏邊走出嚟嘅。
And the several pandemic that we have, or epidemic that we have gone through the last few decades, the SARS, Ebola, and even the many of them actually originated from bats.
甚至乎呢個冠狀病毒，我琴日都要去再揾清楚呢個嘅唔想講任何嘅唔同呢個WHO 所講世界衛生會所講係有差池啊，佢仍然佢係指出都係喺蝙蝠裏邊傳出嚟嘅。
And I did some research, so not to contradict what the WHO are saying, that they were finding that our COVID is actually could originate from bats as well.
所以原來呢個世界搞到咁多咁嘅嗰啲大流行病，幾次咁多嘅，其實無論非洲又好亞洲又好出嚟嘅，都係同呢個蝙蝠有關，啲不潔淨嘅食物有關嘅。
And no matter where it is in Asia or Africa, many of the disease origins are from these unclean animal bats.
所以如果我哋係同呢啲唔捉摸佢唔去食佢嘅時候，你諗下呢個世界健康幾多咧？啲人。
And if everyone refrain from these unclean animals, how much healthier would this world be?
其實加埋最初呢一個咁愛滋病即係其實聽講都係有呢個同呢個動物呢個嘢，我聽柏圖講啊，我冇點樣去研究啊。佢即係講到咧同呢個啲人同埋野獸發生關係所帶入呢個人類裏邊。
And I hear also AIDS was caused by the human and animals that perform a sexual act.
聖經裏邊一早講唔能夠同動物有任何嘅關係嘅。
And the Bible also mentioned that the humans cannot have any type of this relationship with the animal.
最後要講嘅就係唔明顯嘅病。
And lastly, I want to talk about
唔明顯致病嘅原因就係因為我哋生活咁唔得平衡啦、唔得健全啦，或者係濫用所產生嘅。
And those diseases that are not obvious because abuse and imbalance in our lives.
我哋捱得好緊要啊，諸如此類嘅，我哋廢寢忘餐啊，諸如此類嘅。
That we have overworked.
工作狂啊！響1972至74年。
That between the year 1972 and 74.
嗰時候讀緊呢個大專，係突然間咧，我發現到原來咧同讀中學咧係唔同嘅，真係有個新嘅天地嘅。
That I started college and find that there's a whole new world out there.
原來咁自由嘅喎，原來咧可以自己決定任何要做乜嘢就做咩，學乜嘢就學乜嘢嘢。
It was so free that I can do whatever I want, learn whatever I want.
我發覺我所喜好嘅，我所專長嘅，而家可以發揮得到嘅，原來咁受人歡迎嘅喎。
And then I applied all my talents and my hobbies and find that the people are pleased.
所以加上呢個青年人呢個服侍主嗰個意志係好強嘅。
Especially young people, they really have a heart to serve God.
同埋加上咧青年嘅熱情嘅推動啊，所以係當時冇人可以阻止到我做任何嘅嘢。
And plus, that I have this youthful enthusiasm that I become unstoppable in what I do.
況且因為我父母整日都唔喺屋企，個週末更加忙，所以咧我做乜嘢我父母都冇得管我。
And furthermore, my parents are often not home, so they were not able to control what I do.
我為咗自己安排一啲多姿多彩嘅生活。
So I arranged for myself a very interesting life.
由星期一到星期日夜晚黑都係排滿晒節目嘅。
And I have things to do from Monday to Sunday.
當時係響理工讀書，所以咧日頭響理工返學。
And during the day, I go to school, Polytech.
然後咧有晏晝咧上鋼琴堂啦，然後咧通常下課之後咧去到教會裏邊做功課，然後練琴響教會。
And then after school, I do my homework, have my piano lessons, also practice piano.
然後星期一晚我去參加教會裏邊嘅祈禱會。
On the Monday night, I go to the prayer meeting.
應該係教會響青年人嘅祈禱會。
Young people's prayer meeting.
星期二、三、四咧，我係讀2間嘅夜校。
And on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have night classes.
包括其中一間神學嘅。
And including theology.
星期五晚我去到啲天台學校咧，係幫助啲學生團契。
And on Friday, I go to help the student fellowship.
所以週日咧、週夜咧排滿晒㗎啦。
So everything is scheduled fully.
星期六同埋星期日更加係忙。
From Monday to Friday, and then Saturday, Sundays even more busier.
星期六咧做靈修。
And Saturday morning have the devotion.
然後之後咧講到呢個慈雲山一個兒童嘅外展嗰度做義工。
and then in the afternoon go to clinic to have a children outreach.
然後跟住3、4點嘅時候去參加一個響大學教授嘅一個屋企裏邊有一個指揮班咧，教我同埋3個音樂老師嘅。
And then late afternoon, 3 or 4 o'clock, I went to professor's home to be taught to conducting.
然後講到教會裏邊有個年青嘅小師班係我做指揮嘅16人嘅小師班。
And at night, that I will be conducting a small choir.
然後晚上高咧就有青年團契啦。嗰陣時候我做團長，所以要負責嗰啲節目。
And evening, I will also have our youth fellowship. I was the chairman at the time.
嗰陣時候後生嘅時候搞好多嘢，搞好多大型嘅影音聚會啊、退休會啊之類嘅聯合聚會啊。
And at that age, I have planned a lot of evangelism retreats and a lot of meetings.
星期日仲更加緊要，星期日一樣啦，就係咧就參加主學啦，然後參加主日崇拜。
And same thing on the Sundays, we have the Sunday school Sunday service.
然後我仲咧係 squeeze 係插咗落去一個嘅查經班，我負責。
And then after lunch, I added this Bible study group.
然後跟住就參加呢個詩班練習，呢個大詩班嘅練詩。
And then also we have this choir rehearsal afterwards.
然後每個月一次咧有青年晚堂聚會，亦都係我要負責嘅。
And every month, I also have a evening youth service.
所以當時冇網管嘅，係咧盡晒用晒我所有時間，係生活得係多姿多彩嘅。
Sharing and also so I have used every minute I have in my life at that
但
time.
係1974年嘅時候，
But in 1974,
突然間我係開始咳，
and suddenly I started to cough.
咳咗一排之後，咳到出血。
And after a while, I coughed up blood.
我睇醫生，睇醫生之後，醫生配咗啲藥俾我，
And I went to the doctor, and doctor gave me a prescription.
但冇好過，
But I did not get better.
越咳就越嚴重，
The coughing become worse and worse.
因為出血嘅緣故，嗰陣時開始就起身咧就暈。
Because I coughed up blood, so when I try to get up, then I start to be nauseous.
有一日主日，
One Sunday,
就係亦當我喺理工學院畢業之後咧，佢接手份新嘅工作開始之前嗰日，
and that's a day that after I have graduated from Polytech, and also the day before I start my job.
咁我不停咁咳，
On that day, I coughed nonstop,
咳到咧，我相信起碼咳咗一碗血出嚟咁多。
and I believe I coughed up at least a bowl of blood on that day.
有一個弟兄見我咁時候，見到我好唔妥，所以咧就咧即刻用車送我去九龍醫院裏邊教會附近嘅。
And a brother saw that this something is really wrong, so he called the ambulance and sent me to the Kowloon hospital.
長話短説，個醫生話俾我聽，佢話你有肺病。
Make a long story short, the doctor told me that you have problem with your lungs.
You have tuberculosis。本來呢個肺病咧係好多年之前咧會死嘅。
And with TB, that before that time that there's no treatment and you just die.
當時感謝神咧有藥醫，
But thank God at that time they have a remedy, a
但係
treatment.
醫生講樣嘢，佢話你要立刻停止晒你一切嘅活動，
But the doctor said that you have to stop all your activities.
你要留喺屋企裏邊養病1年，
You have to stay home and do nothing for a
你
year.
每日要去打針。
And each day you have to come for an injection.
仲有一樣嘢，如果你唔去打針嘅時候咧，因為我哋有記錄嘅，就係有人會嚟你屋企裏邊拜訪你，捉你去噶啦。
And if you don't show up, then we'll send someone to get you.
我天啊！我所有勞碌嘅，而家一切都冇咗啊！
And I said, oh God, everything I have labored for is gone.
我所有要參與嘅，所有好有活躍嘅，而家都停晒。
And all things that I'm a part of, I'm participating, is had to stop.
連呢嗰份新嘅工作都唔能夠上班。
And I couldn't even go to my new job.
嗰陣時候我成為一個廢人，
So I became someone who's useless.
突然間我停晒咗佢之後，發覺自己原來覺得好緊要，根本係冇辦法繼續落去嘅，係需要停落嚟嘅。
And tired. So actually, we have no strength to continue on.
問題係點解我患呢個肺病咧？
Well, the question is, why do I have this lung problem, this TB?
人為出嚟咧，自作孽不可活咧，就係我捱咗2年。
Well, it is something caused by myself that I was overloaded.
每個星期7日，每一日早晚不停咁樣去。
And that I was continue on 7 days a week, 24 hours a
但
day.
最大嘅問題，佢仲未有講俾你聽喎。最大嘅問題係咩咧？我嗰2年裏邊係失眠。
And the worst thing is that I have insomnia for these 2 years.
每晚瞓喺床上嗰度到4、5點鐘啊，先至慢慢瞌翻着，因為成個腦好活躍嘅，冇辦法瞓覺嘅。然後7點鐘就要起身翻學啦。
And I was laying in bed until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Only then was I able to slowly fall asleep because I was thinking so many things.
2年之後咧，太過疲倦，連咧有時坐巴士啊，坐度企喺度唔係坐巴士，企喺巴士上高都瞌住眼瞓有幾次嘅。
And I was so tired that even I was riding a bus, standing up, I was able to doze off.
我為咗要安排明天要做嘅事、團契嘅事，擔心啊廢餐忘餐就係失眠，冇辦法瞓到覺。
And because I had to worry and arrange about the thing that I do tomorrow, I could not fall asleep.
你話點解我捱得咁辛苦咧？
Then why do I have to suffer so hard?
原來有一樣嘢就係我要逃避神嘅呼召。
One of the reasons why is because I want to escape the calling of
我
God.
盡量去忙碌做晒所有時候，就希望咧我就唔需要擺上嚟到做全時間工作，可以討到神嘅歡心。
And hopefully that I do all these things that I will not have to commit full time to God's word.
但係我
And
唔知道
hopefully
原來我做呢一切嘢就等於人哋揸車係衝紅燈一樣咧，係唔應當咁做，我做咗嘅。
that would be pleasing to God. But I did this as someone who would run the red light. Something
我
I
以
should
為神
not
會
do.
喜歡我咁做，但係點解知原來咧神係藉咗呢個肺病嚟管教我，係喚醒我。
I thought God wanted and was pleased that I did that. But God, through this tuberculosis, is actually disciplining me.
當時好似呢個掃羅呢個大馬色路上咧，係見到呢個光嘅時候，而家我哋先明白被神擊倒過嚟噶，冇辦法再前進啦。
It just saw on the road to Damascus that he saw God's light and that he no longer could continue forward.
嗰陣時候我體會到呢一個，尤其是利未記第26章第16節頭先所讀嘅經文啦。佢話咧精神消耗嘅癆病，因為肺癆咧就癆病啊嘛，就係原來係咁樣發生嘅喎。
That it gave me a different perspective about Leviticus chapter 26 verse 16 concerning wasting disease.
原來當我哋唔遵行神嘅旨意，或者妄自作主嘅時候咧，係唔平衡啊、過勞啊、缺乏休息啊之類啊，或者係擔心啲嘢，原來有咁嘅後果喺裏邊。
That we work, we overload ourselves, if we worry too much. This is the consequence we might face.
嗰時候咧，我學到咧詩篇第121篇第1到第2節裏邊所講啊，尤其是第2節佢話咧，唯有耶和華所親愛，他必叫他安然睡覺。
And at the moment, I learned what it means for Psalm chapter 27 verse 2. It says that for he grants sleep to those he loves.
我掙扎咗1-2年嘅時間，去點樣學習交託我一切憂慮俾神。
And I struggled for a couple of years on learning how to lay everything
使到
to
我可以
God.
瞓得翻啊，唔能夠失眠啊，失眠都係好慘嘅。
And I have to be able to sleep and not to have insomnia.
原來憂慮係一個好壞嘅習慣，呢個壞習慣好難停落嚟嘅。
But to anxiety and worry is a bad habit. It's hard to break.
我用好多方法幫自己唔再諗嘢，唔再瞓喺床上嗰就喺度咧個腦喺度亂晒龍。
And I have to find many ways so that we will not keep on thinking while I'm in bed.
我要學習將一切嘅憂慮交俾神。
And to give all my worries to God, I need to
原
learn.
來憂慮啊、失眠啊、生活冇協調啊，都可以成為致病嘅原因嚟嘅。
And all these worrying, anxiety can cause sickness.
所以聖經裏邊話唔好為明天憂慮，其實係醫我哋嘅病嘅良藥之一嚟嘅。
And when God said, "Do not worry about tomorrow," it's a remedy for our health.
我唔再多講落去啦。 應該咁講埋先，講埋呢幾句。情緒其實係影響我哋身體健康好大。
And moreover, our emotion can cause can affect our health.
我哋唔好以為咧嗰啲化學藥品咧，我哋避免攞嘅時候咧，我哋就可以健康。
Do not think that we avoid all the chemical things that we can be healthy.
原來呢個情緒嘅聖經裏面所講嘅箴言咧，就14章第30節係骨中裏邊嘅扭爛啦。其實咧激氣啊、嫉妒啊、擔憂啊，係可以令到我哋內分泌不平衡嘅時候，其實嗰啲都係體內裏邊嘅化學藥品嚟嘅。
And also that all the emotion that we have, like mentioned here, the envy or jealousy, I think they cause imbalance in our chemical imbalance in our body.
所以神咧老早俾我哋個維持我哋健康好嘅藥方秘方。
And all God have way before He given us the secret of a healthy life.
如果我哋遵行神嘅話語，過一個平衡嘅生活。
If we obeying to God's laws and to have a balanced
將我哋嘅憂慮
lifestyle
交俾佢，
and to leave our worries to Him,
神咧就會咧係賜俾我哋咧係好嘅健康。
then God will give us a good health.
好啦，我唔再講多噶啦，你留翻下一次先啦。
I will not continue. I will leave that for next time.
我希望咧大家咧，假如你身體入邊有咩疾病啊、諸如此類嘅時候，你喺呢個禮拜祈禱喺屋企裏邊，你話神啊，你幫我，希望咧你好醫治我啦。
And throughout this week, if you have problem with your body, then you can come to God and ask God to heal you.
存咗一個期待嘅心嚟到神嘅面前。
To come with an expectation before God.
呢幾個禮拜，尤其是你話神啊，我希望喺當中我遇見你。
And to pray that for the next couple of weeks, I want to come and be with you.
父神，我哋感謝你俾我哋有咁嘅機會去聽你嘅話語。
Father, we thank you for the opportunity to hear your word,
知道你係愛顧我哋。
to know that you love and care for
雖
us.
然呢個世界總有好多不同嘅呢個咒詛挑戰，
Even though we're facing the curse and the challenges in this world,
但係我哋都知道你俾咗我哋有唔同嘅解藥，
but we know that you have provided different remedies for us,
叫我哋可以過咗一個健康更加健康嘅生活，
that we can live a healthier life,
叫我哋心裏邊一無掛慮嚟到去服侍你。
that we can come and serve you without any worries and
懇求主你
anxieties.
繼續嚟到同我哋同在。
As you continue to be with us,
我哋當中裏邊有好多不同嘅腰酸骨痛、病痛有唔同嘅問題。
that among us there are a lot of different health issues,
我哋願意將呢一切都帶到你嘅面前，
big or small, we lay them all before you.
懇求主你嚟到一一嚟到醫治我哋，
And we ask you to heal each and every one of us,
使到我哋喺呢個往而不返嘅路上高，稍微得到振作過嚟。
and that we will be encouraged in this irreversible process.
我哋感謝讚美你，
We thank you and praise
繼
you,
續同我哋呢個禮拜同我哋同在，引導我哋
and continue to be with us in this week, during the week,
走着你自己嘅道路，
and that we search for your ways,
叫我哋嘅生活行為能夠討你嘅喜悅，
that our life and our behavior is pleasing to you.
亦都賜福我哋一陣間嘅領袖議會，賜俾我哋有呢一個你嘅指示。
And also bless the meeting we will have later, and may your will be done.
我哋咁樣禱告奉主耶穌基督名求，
We pray out in Jesus' name.
阿門。
Amen.
我哋今日唔唱詩歌啦，將時間交俾譚伯輝講呢個報告。
We will not close with a song. We'll give time to Danny, Brother Danny.